I just want to, I want to take a second to acknowledge a couple individuals, Simone Davis, Delana Chandler, and Happy Perry. Just, I want you to know how much I appreciate you. I love you. I'm grateful for you, and you have a tremendous amount of support in myself, the staff, players in this locker room. Very, very difficult week for all of us, and just hopefully you're smiling. I know that Lavelle, Devin, and Deshaun are smiling down on their brothers. Had a chance to celebrate with them in the locker room, but just want you to know that we continue to lift you up in our prayers, and the legacies of your sons is never going to die as long as I'm here at UVA. And I believe that to be the case going forward, even if I'm not in the future. But I wish I can give you a hug. It's been a long, hard year, but I tell you what, I draw strength from the three of you and the way that you continue to put one step in front of the other. So just want you to know that I love you. I'm grateful for you, and God bless.
The week started on an emotional note for your guys. On Monday, they were also dealing with having Paris still in Louisville. Did this week demand greater focus, greater commitment from them than maybe a typical week would because of that? You can say yes, but it wasn't anything that I needed to do extra. Monday, I thought first of all, the administration did an unbelievable job, both in the athletic department and from the university perspective, and all of the different activities and things that were done in remembrance of our fallen young men, and so they made it easy for us to just be able to kind of be a part of that without having to worry about a bunch of logistics or anything like that. But I think that gave the guys some space to be able to grieve and mourn and process the way that they needed to. And the ceremonies on grounds and then also here on Monday night were beautiful, were awesome, and we're right back to work on Tuesday morning. And I can tell you, and I've been around a lot of practice fields, and I hadn't felt what I felt on Tuesday with these guys, considering what they went through the day before, man. And then they brought it back Wednesday. And so I think that they understood that this week and every week going forward, they're playing for something bigger than themselves. And it was awesome to be able to go to Louisville and see Paris. I'm grateful for the administration and making that happen. And, man, he inspired me. Right, and here's a 25-year-old man, young man that's football career, presumably is finished, and he's in a hospital, just had major surgery, and the first thing he says is he apologizes to Coach Gaither and myself for fumbling the football. I mean, that was his first comment, and then he made a profound statement while we were in there, and we were kind of talking about the situation and just talking about kind of how everything happened. And he said, I remember laying on the ground, and once Kelly and everybody kind of calmed me down and stabilized me, so I remember closing my eyes and say, God, I'm listening. And for a young man, to say that just inspired me as a 43-year-old man who's been through a lot. So that group of people in that locker room, staff and players, awesome people, and those players in there are going to go do great things because of the adversity that they've had to persevere through. So just so humble, so thankful, so grateful that they got to experience victory, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a group of winners in there, right? I know people are going to judge us by scores and stats and wins and losses, but that's a group of winners in there that are going to do great things in life. But it was a tough week, but I tell you what, man, the guys took it in stride and took ownership of it, and had a really good week of practice and allowed them to be able to play the way they did today.
Just for reference, the visit to Louisville to see Paris was Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday afternoon.
That's what I was going to ask, but I'll ask about Malik. He said kind of throughout the year he's wished some of his big moments and great games would come in wins. Today he did both.
Right.
What did you see in his play today, especially that touchdown in the dark?
Yeah, he told me, and he's not a
real fiery guy. He's pretty even kill. But today I saw some passion and some fire, and he basically told me, said, "Coach, I want it. Give me the ball today." And that's the first time he's really said that, right? Even though he's getting the ball a ton, he actually said for the first time, "Coach, I want it." So it was awesome to see that. And, man, I'm really grateful for Malik believing in us, and really not much to go off of when we were recruiting him, and just kind of selling him the vision of what we believed we could build here. And he'll also tell you that what he's been able to accomplish is a result of a lot of people putting in a lot of work, and things have been progressing in all aspects of the offense to be able to give him an opportunity to do that. And if there was a young man that I say has earned it and deserved it, it would be Malik Washington.
You told me on Tuesday that regardless of the you felt like the message to fans was that there's progress being made. Today, with the victory, with the fact that this team is still playing hard at the end of the year, the way this team has improved over the year, does that, I don't know, sort of back up kind of what you're seeing?
I mean, for me, I see it every single day, right? And obviously, I get to see the ins and outs, so I can kind of gauge the progress. I know it's tough for the fan or the folks that are from the outside looking in, because again, you see 3.5 hours on Saturday, right? You might see some clips throughout the course of the week on social media, and then you see stats, right? But for me, it's mentality, mindset, right? Attention to detail, the way that we play, and we are making progress, in my opinion. Okay, and then I say, hey, we've had, and I told the guys in the locker room, we've had to deal with some adversity that's not normal to college football, and the guys have taken it in stride, right? Everything that they've been challenged with, they haven't backed down from, right? They've learned from it. They've missed some opportunities, but they've showed up every single day. And for me, if a group can stick together, continue to fight, continue to believe when everyone around them is telling them to stop believing or why would you believe, tells me that there is progress being made.
You got the ACC home
Yeah.
game.
Oh, man.
Monkey off your back.
Yes, sir.
What's it like getting over that hump, and how can it help you going forward?
Yeah, so there was a lot of things at play today, right? We talked about playing for something bigger than ourselves. It started with 115, 41-2. With this week and everything surrounding that, and playing for the first home ACC win, kind of getting over that hump, creating a mindset of defending Scott Stadium, right? Like this is our turf, right? I think we've kind of learned how to go on the road, right, and be ready to play on the road in a hostile territory. But we gotta defend our turf, right? When somebody, it doesn't matter who's coming in here, this is our house. We gotta be ready to defend it. And I thought the guys, took a step forward in that direction. And as I said, Jim gave me the nugget that there hasn't been a team since '03 to win the final 2 games of the season. And so we got two games at home. So now you can potentially go back-to-back ACC wins, create some momentum. So it was there was a lot of things that I felt like we had to play for and continue to play for.
Talk about showing progress. Several freshmen making big
Yeah.
plays. Caleb Hardy, Dre Walker at the end of the first half, and then Anthony Condre not having a turnover today. How much does that show the progress, and how happy are you at seeing these true freshmen come out in those big moments?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see Caleb bounce back, right? Because a lot of times, as a freshman, you feel like there's not a whole lot you can do right, because your coach is always going to be on you, right? Because there's always progress to be made, and for him to come out and bounce back from last week and make a big play, and AC continuing to make progress and understanding that, hey, we don't want to take away from you what makes you great, but at this level, the margin for error is very, very small. So we can't put the ball in jeopardy. We can't turn the ball over. And then Dre's probably played the most. Of all those guys, well, actually Calandria now, but he's played the most of those guys on defense, and you're starting to see his confidence, right? So now, he's got a little bit more swagger, right, to him, which I think is going to help him because he's got a ton of talent, and this experience is going to pay off.
Tony, what's it like managing Anthony? You know, it's kind of like probably coaching Brett Favre, because he starts making a play and you're thinking, oh gosh, no.
You know,
it turns into a 20-yard game.
it's not that bad, right? He's actually a fun guy to be around, right? And he's very coachable, and he wants to get better, right? Now you got to constantly remind him, but what you're seeing is that, you know, he can go from being in that moment where he's AC to when you say, hey, look, we got to take care of the football. It's like, I got you, coach. So it's been fun to see his maturity and growth throughout the course of the season. But it's actually fun. He's a fun-loving guy. Everybody in the locker room loves him, and he gets along with everybody. He hangs out with everybody. So he's a lot of fun. And same thing with Tony. Man, they're fun to. Both of them are fun to coach.
Are there times you see him start to do something where you're thinking, oh no? This is not
well,
going well.
Let me tell you something. I see that with a lot of them. It's not just AC, right? You're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds in a hectic and chaotic environment, but haven't seen as much of that, right? I think we saw early on some of those plays where he was trying to just extend it for too long. Now you're starting to see when he breaks the pocket, if it's not there, he's putting his foot in the ground and running, or he's throwing the ball away. And so he's learning that you have to make the play required. Sometimes it's an AC play. Sometimes it's the big play, that big throw to Malachi over there for a touchdown. And then the other play is we're sprinting out, right? We're running a high-low concept. It's not there. You can't run it. Throw it away, right? Give us a chance to go to 2nd and 10 as opposed to a turnover or a negative play.
We'll take our last question from Brad.
Tony, the crowd at the end of the first half was getting a little rowdy. Zebras weren't getting a lot of love at that point. You got like 37 penalties in like a row there. I don't think it was actually that many.
There were a lot of them. We had 8 of them in the first half.
I'm just curious what the process is for you guys as coaches, because I feel like this is a theme around the league this year, and I'm not trying to get you fined. But I just feel like there's a lot of heat on ACC officials.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what the process is for you guys when you go back and look at the film to actually say something to the league about it.
First of all, because I'm glad you brought that up, because if you didn't, I was going to address it, man. I take responsibility for the penalties, because I told the guys again how we played last year. That man, we were going to stand our ground, and we were going to be ready for a fist fight, and we were going to take it to them. And so some of the penalties were aggressive, and I told the guys, I want you right at the line. Don't cross the line, but right at the line, and don't you back down. And we crossed the line a little bit, and so that's on me. I got to do a better job as a coach to make sure my guys understand exactly what that line is, and we can't cross it. And so several of the penalties were warranted. Right, so it wasn't like, you know, they weren't warranted. They were warranted penalties, right? Now, our process is if we have any kind of question, we can submit them on Sunday via email, and we'll get a response from Al and the folks at headquarters. But you know, there were some warranted penalties there on my end, and again, I have to do a better job of making sure they don't cross the line. But I told the guys I wanted them to play on the line because of a couple things. We didn't play well versus group last year. I thought they pushed us around, right? We didn't respond, and then we're defending our turf, right? And we need to have that mindset and mentality that you come into our stadium, then, man, if you walk out victorious, then you're going to have to earn it.